How you doing, babe?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm relaxed. I'm
a little sad.
Sad, yeah. Today we are going to be talking about our weekend at Hidden Cave. What is it?
The Hidden Cave Ranch.
Hidden Cave Ranch.
In Burkesville, Kentucky.
Bed and breakfast in Burkesville, Kentucky. Burkesville?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But before we get to all of our adventures, I have a question for you.
What?
Okay, so...
Just so y'all know, we don't practice these, so I have no idea what's about to come out of his mouth.
Yeah. You know.
I don't.
You know.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we've been to different places, and we've been to Hawaii, and we've done trails and hikes in Hawaii. While we were here this weekend, we did a trail hike. So my question for you is, when you hear people say this hike is easy, this hike is moderate, this hike is hard, how do you gauge
what that means for me?
What that means for you? Yes.
So I don't know if this is correct or not, but I feel like when whoever makes those rules, they make it for the average person. So I would say that 6 years ago, I was the average person, maybe a little above average because I was super fit and working out all the time and had, endurance and stamina and all the things. However, now I've gained a little weight and I don't exercise as much. So when I look at something, if it says like difficult, I feel like that would be difficult for the average person. So I feel like for me, it would probably be very difficult. Or, if you are a fit person who hikes all the time and does all the 10Ks or the 1,000,000 Ks, or you crazy people that like to run, then a difficult for you would probably be a moderate or an easy.
Gotcha.
So, for me personally, if I were to look at a hike, I would probably stick with easy to moderate. I would not go into the difficult, very difficult, because a lot of the very difficults have a lot of climbing and uphill and slippery slopes. And so besides the fact I'm 30 pounds overweight and out of shape, I'm also scared of falling and dying. So,
well, if you remember when we were in Hawaii, the Lalamalahu or whatever, the falls that we went to, it was an easy to moderate hike.
I feel like it wasn't. I feel like
I
listed that as moderate to hard.
It was easy to moderate.
I'm looking it up.
Look it up because we were actually climbing like the sides of mountains to get where we needed to go. Okay, you can look it up right now and it might say moderate to high, but you told me easy to moderate.
Well, I mean, just because I told you, it's because I wanted to really do it. And I was afraid if I told you difficult.
And I was afraid I was going to get my shoes wet, and I had no idea that I was going to get every inch of my body soaking wet.
Well, we still have that video of you not wanting to get in the water.
Yeah.
Difficulty beginner. Okay.
Okay.
You're right. That's wrong.
Okay, so the Lulamahu Falls. Difficulty is beginner. That is horse poop, because I feel like I had to climb the side of a mountain. I feel like we had to jump over like a raging river or something. I don't know. It was definitely...
It was like, well, that, and you're literally in this forest, bamboo forest, with the instructions to follow the red ribbons. Well, some of the ribbons were missing, and so I'm sure we got lost a time or two, but yeah, it was definitely not beginner. So whoever gauged that one did it incorrectly.
Okay, so what we are going to be talking about later is our
hike to the hidden cave.
Is our hike to the hidden cave. So when we get to that part, I want you to tell me what you thought that hike was. So anyway, thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome.
Now we can get into the real reason that we're here.
Welcome to Loving Our 25 to Life. I'm Heather.
And I'm Bo. Together we've been married over 25 years.
Yeah, baby!
And this is where we talk about life, love, and all the adventures we have had along the way.
Oh, wow.
Whether we're sharing stories from our marriage or taking you along one of our trips, we're here to reflect on how we've made it this far and where we are headed next.
So grab a seat, settle in, and let's dive into another episode of Loving Our 25 to Life.
So first, how did we end up here?
Yeah, so I think it was like several months ago, you found this place online and you sent me you posted it to Facebook and said, we need to really do this because the advertisement was for like Highland cows and, you get to pet the cows and pet the horses and all this stuff. And so months and months ago, you booked this place. And
July. I think it was July.
Yeah, July. And so we went this week. So
it's only about 3 hours from our house. It's still in Kentucky, but it's on the other side of Kentucky. But we just figured we could do, because we really try to do getaways, like weekend getaways, a couple of times a year. And we've kind of decided over the next few years to try to get out of debt, even though we both really, really want to go back to Hawaii. We're being the responsible adults that we are and taking these smaller trips just to get away that aren't as expensive so that we can work and pay off some credit card debt that we have. But so I found this place and I really wanted to go. And so I knew that November-ish would be getting us into our busy season. So I was like, let's just plan it for the beginning of November and kind of relax and rest and go into the busy season refreshed and happy.
Yeah. So a little bit about this place. It is in, where is it again?
Burkesville, Kentucky.
Burkesville, Kentucky. So look it up. I can't tell you where that is.
It's just like a southeastern corner of Kentucky. We're about an hour and a half away actually from Crossville, Tennessee, which is where our son lives.
Yeah. All right. So that's where it is. But the actual bed and breakfast is owned, and the farm is owned by an awesome couple who are originally from the Netherlands, and they moved here 14 years ago, bought the farm, and they run a bed and breakfast from their house, and you have pretty much free access to the farm. You can't go in with the animals, but you can go to the fence. They'll all come up and, well, all but the Highland cows that Heather wanted.
I literally petted every animal there except for the Highland cows because they would get right to the fence and then look at me like I was crazy.
But you got to touch one.
I did.
And almost
I touched one of them today.
Little Rosie.
Well, she touched me. I had my arm out and the little Highland calf, her name was Rosie. She came right up to me and nudged my hand with her nose, and when I went to like pet her forehead, she kind of got scared and pulled away. But she is so cute.
Yeah, and so the Highland, that's kind of pretty much, I think for us, was the highlight. I mean, they have horses and they have
ponies.
What are they called?
Curly ponies.
Curly. What's the official?
They're just called curly horses, but they're hypoallergenic.
Yeah. So the curly horses, the hair on the horses are super curly. They're cute. The Highland cows are super cute, and they have one bull, and
it's a Highland bull, which is
a Highland bull.
Most bulls are not cute, but this bull was so cute.
And his name's Billy. And they kept telling us, if you just call Billy, he'll come running over to you. But we always caught Billy when he was eating. And so we would yell, Billy.
And he'd look like,
and he would just look up and then look back down and keep eating. So we had nothing to offer Billy during his mealtime. So he wasn't interested in.
But they had a lot of little curly ponies. They weren't really horses. They were tinier. They were ponies. And when they saw us coming, they would come running up and almost fight for attention. Like we would be petting one and the other one would kind of push that one out of the way so we could pet it. And this morning we went out there kind of early, like around 7, and they were so playful. They were like chasing each other around, and fighting with each other, and it was really cute to watch, almost like little puppy dogs, but they're
Mm-hmm.
these big horses. But I love the farm part. Don't get me wrong. That was the whole reason to go, because I love animals, and just being able to be out there with them and pet them and feed them and stuff was cool. But I really like the atmosphere of the home. So you're literally being invited into Miriam and Yuko's home, and he cooks for you.
I think it's Euro.
Euro?
Yeah.
Okay. You're literally being invited into Miriam and Euro's home. He cooks for you. He cooked breakfast for us the last 2 mornings, and it was
Delicious.
amazing. I mean, home cooked, just delicious. And then you can choose to have dinner there. The breakfast is included in the cost, which is not a bad cost at all. But then you can choose to have dinner there. So we chose to have dinner there last night, and I'm so glad we did. I got the 8-ounce steak, and Bo got the ribs, and we kind of shared. But I mean, that steak was the best steak I've ever had in my life, probably.
Yeah.
And I'm not usually a big fan of ribs unless Bo cooks them, but he did an amazing job. Like, they were so good. And we had some white asparagus, which was amazing. I mean, the food was just good. But you're sitting at the table. So in the mornings, there was another couple there that we didn't know. We ended up getting along with, thankfully, because the way the rooms are set up, like, we had our own room, we had our own bathroom, but we had to share like a common area that had game room and TV and all that. So we kind of got to visit with them as well. And so at dinner last night, we all got to eat together. It was us and the other couple who had brought their granddaughter, who was our daughter's age. And then Miriam and Euro ate with us for dinner. They didn't eat with us for breakfast because they were busy doing things out on the farm. But it was just really cool, like hearing their stories and having conversations. And I don't know. I love the farm. I love the animals. But being able to hear their story and be invited into their home and literally I felt at home. I didn't feel like I was intruding.
Mm-hmm.
It was just it was a really good experience. And then there was the hike.
Yeah, so before I talk about the hike, I did want to say, I think it's a European kind of mindset that you don't eat and live life kind of separately from everybody else. I remember when I was in Colorado filming with my buddy Steve, we were filming for a film that we put out on Colorado whiskey, and one of the guys that we interviewed, Todd Leopold is his name. He owns he's co-owner of Leopold Brothers Distillery, but he did all his training in Germany. And he said one of the things that stuck out to him about being over there is, like, when you go to a restaurant, you don't sit at a table with just your family. They have these long tables that you sit and eat with other people. So anytime you're out in public, you are mixing and mingling with other families, other people. And I think that's kind of what they're trying to bring to this experience. And I know if you're like me, you think like, I don't want to sit with people I don't know or whatever, but it ended up being an awesome experience. Not only did we get to hear from the people that own the place, but this other family that was there, we just shared stories and talked. And I mean, at breakfast yesterday morning and this morning, we actually stayed probably 30 minutes later just talking. And then last night, we probably stayed an hour
talking
later, just talking and telling stories. And so that was fun. But probably my favorite part was the hike. And before we talk about the hike, I want you to inform me what you think that hike was. Do you think it was easy, moderate, or hard?
For a average person or a fit person?
For us. For you. What was it? What would you rate
for me,
that?
it was moderate. But for a fit person, I think it would be easy. Because it was moderate for me because there were a few places where there was quite the incline. There was really no climbing unless... Right. I mean, when I got in the cave, I climbed a little bit, but that was just because I wanted to. But the main thing was, of course, where we are now, it's November, and all the leaves have fallen. So on the trail, the leaves were just really slippery. So even though I had on my hiking boots, there were a few places where I would step and slide down a little bit and lose my footing. But for the average fit person, I think it would be like easy. But for me, it was moderate because, like I said, there were several places where you had to go kind of straight up a hill, and there was some heavy breathing going on.
A lot of heavy breathing because I am the epitome of not in shape. I'm the epitome of, not your average hiker or whatever. I do love to go out hiking and I love outdoorsy things, but so yeah, it was it wasn't a hard hike as far as like the terrain wasn't terrible, but you might go up a 45-degree hill for, 60 feet and 70 feet, whatever. And then, but I will say what was so cool, and we'll post pictures of this on our Facebook page if we haven't already, I can't remember, but one of their dogs, they had a pack of dogs that were on the farm that, had farm duties or whatever. And the dog that we had taking us, so he literally escorted us to the falls. So you have to go through the woods and there's 3 or 4 paths you have to take. And the owners of the place did a pretty good job of putting cones out. So like if you came up on a cone and the cone was on the left, that meant you had to turn left to go down this path. And if it was on the right, you had to turn right. So we kind of had that going for us, but the dog led us, stayed in front of us, leading the whole time. And as Heather said, leaves were all on the ground. So you would hear crunching of our feet, but mostly me, when I would have to stop and rest and take a breath, the leaves would stop crunching. So the dog would hear the leaves not crunching, stop,
and sit,
look back at us, and then sit down and wait for us to go.
That was the best dog ever.
Yeah. So, and actually what happened was the owners told us when you get to the cave, go past the first cave, which is a smaller cave, and go to the second one. That's the big, deep cave. And we thought we were supposed to go all the way down this huge hill. And I told Heather, I said, I don't want to go down this hill because I cannot get back up it. But we did walk a long way. So I said, I don't want to go all this way and not go to the cave. Well, the dog starts walking down this path to the right of us. Mm-hmm. And we were like,
we can do that.
Yeah, we could do that. So we followed the dog. He took us into the cave. And so the other couple that we were with this weekend, they went and they said, well, we didn't get to go in the cave because we weren't going to go down that big hill. And so we told them, yeah, if you would have gone to the right, you could have.
If you had Winston with you.
Yeah, so.
What is his name, Winston?
I think Winston. I think it was.
Winston was the best dog.
So yeah, he saved us on that one. But yeah, it was a big, beautiful cave. And it was one of those, it was probably the opening of the cave was, I don't know, maybe 16 feet wide. Tall. It was a huge cave. You'll see pictures of it. But it went as far back as we stopped. We only went back as far as like our iPhone lights would let us go. It got to, it kept going. I don't know how deep it goes, but it went on for forever. And I saw there's this one little can in there up on a ledge. And it made me wonder, like, how much moonshine was made in this cave. And when
not by Euro. Euro doesn't make moonshine.
Not by Euro, but I feel like lots of moonshine was made in this cave because not only is it in Kentucky, but caves were good for moonshine back then because you could, light the fire and the smoke would dissipate before it exited the cave. Plus you had a stream of good, clean water. So good, clean, cold water. So I feel like lots of moonshine was made in that cave. So I was kind of proud to be in there.
I think my favorite part too is when we got to the top, there's supposed to be a waterfall, but I guess it's been kind of a dry season. There wasn't any, but all of a sudden I heard this splashing around. And I looked over and Winston had found the one watering hole. Yeah. I guess he knew it was there. So he was like, when I get to the top with these people that are slowing me down, I can't wait to get my little watering hole. And sure enough, I looked over and he's just swimming around in that little watering hole and cooling off a little bit. Because it was, even though it's mid-November, it was pretty, we worked up a pretty good sweat.
Yeah. In typical Bo and Heather, we decided to take off on a hike, and
Filled out
we
water.
didn't take any water.
Well, we
and
didn't know it was that far. I mean, they made it sound like, oh, it's just right up the hill. No,
Yeah.
it was not.
I will say, Euro is awesome in every way, but he made it seem like it was, a hop, skip, and a jump away, and it was
It was
like
probably about a
18
mile.
miles,
It was not 18 miles. It was probably a mile.
maybe.
Uphill both ways.
Yeah, uphill both ways in the snow. But yeah, so I will say this. If you are looking for something to do, you're looking for a weekend to get away and kind of hang out with nature, pet some animals. Oh, and they also had not only just like the horses and cows, but they had like roosters. Like they had this one rooster. I'll have to put a picture of it online, but it looked like a fighting.
It was beautiful, though.
It
It
was
was having a
beautiful,
bad hair day for sure.
But it
was
definitely
pretty.
looked like it would mess you up if you wanted to, tangle with it.
And there was a kitty cat that welcomed us and then was there today. So we saw this cat that looked like our very first cat. As soon as we got there Friday, it met us in the parking lot and like was doing that little purring thing, trying to get us to pet him. So we did. And then I didn't see him the rest of that night. I didn't see him all day yesterday. In fact, I asked Miriam yesterday, I said, I haven't seen the kitty cat. You think it's okay? And she said, yeah, he'll be back. Well, then sure enough, this morning when we opened the door to come out with our things to take him to the car, there it was to tell us goodbye. And I was like, that is just the cutest little thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, all the animals, if you're looking for a place to go and just kind of sit back, have nature, trail hikes, pet animals, this is like definitely the place to go. And
just Google Hidden Cave Ranch, Burkesville, Kentucky, because their rates are not bad at all.
it's definitely
it's worth every penny.
It's very cost efficient or cost affordable or whatever.
It's less than what you would pay for Airbnb, and they don't feed you homemade meals at the Airbnb, so I would highly recommend it.
So yeah, if you're looking, and they're also on Facebook. It's like Hidden Cave Ranch Bed and Breakfast. So look them up on Facebook. They're super cool.
And just talking to the owners was just, I mean, I don't know. I just really enjoyed and hearing about their story and what made them come from Amsterdam to over here. But yeah, we're planning our next trip to go back hopefully in the next spring.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see a calf be born.
I mean,
Billy does his thing.
Billy was definitely interested in. Yeah. We either caught Billy like looking around or we caught him eating, and neither time was he interested in either one of us at those times. So we just want to take a little break from kind of our past stories to say this is what we're doing now. And I came across this thing the other day, and I told Heather, and I said, this is what we need to do. But it was called like the 777 approach. And it was basically like every 7 weeks.
Well, hang on, it's 7 days first.
Yeah. Every 7 days you go on a date.
Which we already did.
We do that already. Every 7 days you go on a date with your spouse. Every 7 weeks you take a mini weekend to kind of sit, do something like this, recharge. And I will say, Heather had said like 3 or 4 times today already that she just felt really recharged because we really had no agenda this week but to just be in nature. And they say there's this thing about earthing or whatever it is where your feet are touching the ground or whatever, but I feel like we did a little bit of that this weekend. And
we rested. Go ahead.
Yeah, we rested
because I was in bed by 8 o'clock Friday.
Oh yeah, for sure, because we were tired from all the hiking.
And they're an hour behind us, so technically it was 9 o'clock our time, but I slept 9 hours Friday night, and I cannot tell you the last time I slept 9 complete hours. Like, I don't even think I woke up. I was, and then I took a nap yesterday. So I'm living the life of my daughter who can sleep for 10 hours and take a 2-hour nap. Yeah. She was so proud of me when I told her that I took a nap. Anyway, so 7.
So 7 days, every 7 days you go on a date. Every 7 weeks you go on a mini vacation, I guess, this. And then every 7 months you take a bigger.
Hawaii.
Yeah. Every 7 months you should go to Hawaii. So I think we're going to start incorporating. We already have been doing the date every week, but we haven't been doing the 7-week thing. And of course, I mean, we go on a couple of, my boss would argue that I go on too many vacations, but
he's just jealous.
Is
it the boy boss or the girl boss?
The boy.
The boy.
Don.
Yeah, he's just jealous.
Don always gets on to me because I take too many vacations, but he's usually on vacation when he's complaining about my vacation. So, but if we go, every 7 months you do like a longer vacation, then, so I think we're going to really start to do this because we have stuff like this going on. And my brother and his wife, we met them in St. Louis about a couple months back, and we said we had so much fun doing that. We wanted to kind of make that a couple times a year trip. So I just think recharging like that is important. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, I really get bogged down in just the monotony of my job, which I love my job. I love who I work with. I love, everything like that. But it's easy to just get bogged down. And when you take a weekend like this and just focus on each other, focus on, just doing different stuff, then you do get recharged.
I think too, though, and we've talked about this with each other. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I think we're just both in a place where life is too short to spend time doing things you don't want to do with people you don't like to be around. And so, and yes, believe it or not, there are some people I don't really like to be around. And I don't know, for many years, I guess society dictates that you just be cordial, or maybe it's Southern hospitality or whatever. You always go and do things with people you don't really want to because it's expected of you. And I don't know, just the older I get, the more I just want to be around my family, who I absolutely love, and some friends that I like to hang out with that I still don't get to see nearly enough. But I don't know, I just... You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think I just want to go to places I want to go with people I want to be around, and life's too short to do anything else.
Yeah. So that's it for this episode. And next episode, we are not going to get back to our history stuff quite yet. For our next episode, we are 4 days away from, 3 days away from us going to Maker's Mark Distillery.
Woohoo! For my first time.
For her first time ever at Maker's Mark. But Maker's Mark, well, if you know me, you know I'm a bourbon kind of, not a connoisseur, not an expert, but just a bourbon enthusiast. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I signed up to be a Maker's Mark ambassador. And what that means is when you sign up, they put a barrel in the rick house with your name on it, and when that barrel is mature, they let you know that your barrel is ready. You schedule a tour at Maker's Mark. You go in and you get to sample from your barrel. They give you an opportunity to buy a bottle of your, single barrel from your barrel. And so I get to do that, and my official Maker's Mark ambassadorship is complete. And
you gonna wear your Maker's Mark socks they sent you?
Yes, I'm gonna wear my Maker's Mark socks. I'm going to
do like I did this weekend. Y'all, when we left the house Friday, I had on a cow shirt, a cow jacket. I was carrying my Highland cow Stanley Cup. I have my cow earrings on. There's one other thing. What else did I? Oh, my cow purse. I have a cow purse that my daughter bought me. So my daughter bought me the cow purse. My mom bought me the cow jacket. My best friend, Stacy Park, bought me the Highland cow Stanley Cup. And I think my mom bought me the earrings too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm going to have all my Maker's Mark stuff on. But yeah.
We'll have to get a picture of you like you did me.
So that's what we're doing, and we'll talk about that because I love bourbon. I love bourbon stuff. That's why we moved to Kentucky. But we don't really talk about that a whole lot on here. But we will next episode. How about that?
So when this is released, this episode we're doing now is released, go look on our 25 to Life Facebook page, and we're going to post the pictures of this weekend, and then we'll have some Maker's Mark pictures for when that one is released.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it. And
thanks for listening.
Reach
out. Let us know. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it for today's episode of Loving Our 25 to Life. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found something to take with you on your own journey.
Remember, love is an adventure. Sometimes it's wild, sometimes it's calm, but it's always worth it.
Yes!
If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who might need a little inspiration.
And don't forget to follow along for more episodes and vlogs documenting our travels, life lessons, and hopefully plenty of laughs.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep loving life because it is the greatest adventure of all. Bye for now.
Bye.